Hello and welcome to Vision Insights. Today myself, C.S. Trupti Upadhyay, will take you to another new lecture. Today's lecture is on the project work of University of Calcutta. The project work consists of 100 marks. 100 marks are divided into two halves. First is 50 marks for the project report and the 50 marks for Viva Vasek. Fine? Let's start our discussion on this project. Before discussing on how to make this project, we should first understand that what is our target audience. Our target audience is the students of semester 6 of BCOM honors. Mind you students, this is your honors paper of 100 marks, so obviously it is of utmost importance. So I would request everyone to view the entire video patiently, and if you can't understand one point, then obviously you can go back and again check the same point. It will get clarified because I am doing this presentation for your benefit, and obviously I'll explain each and every point in detail. If then also if you can, after viewing the video for 2-3 times you are unable to resolve your query, you can post your query in the comment section below. Fine, and I'll be happy to answer them. So now let's start. Before making a discussion on this topic, first we should understand that how the marks or division is being done in your project, because you should know that which portion of your project contains how many marks. So in that way you can obviously make efforts make efforts and get good marks. I would say good marks means more than 60% for me. Now let's understand 50 marks project report. So project report contains 4 chapters, that is introduction, conceptual framework, presentation, analysis and findings, conclusion and recommendations. So you can check these chapter headings. So these chapter headings should be there in your project. So make in this format only. So chapter 1 is introduction. Chapter 2 is conceptual framework. Please ignore national international scenario. I'll talk to these topics later. So our chapter 1 is introduction. Chapter 2 is conceptual framework. Chapter 3 is presentation, analysis and findings. Chapter 4, conclusion and recommendations. So you have to write it like this way, which is being given over here. Now understand, your introduction contains 10 marks. Conceptual framework chapter 2, 5 marks. The maximum marks in your project is of chapter 3, and you should concentrate very much in this chapter, and your data presentation and your findings and analysis should be really good, so that you can get 25 out of 25 most of the marks. More than 20 or 23 also people gets in this chapter, so you don't need to worry, just you need to work on it. So your chapter 3 contains 25 marks, a big chunk, half of 50, 25. Conclusion and recommendations are of 10 marks. Fine. Viva Vasek, this part 2 of your project. After making your project report, you will certify the same from your supervisors. Then you need to go for a Viva Vasek. Viva Vasek is basically an interview kind of thing, in which for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever be the time, external plus internal examiner will listen to you, what you have, and you can make a presentation before them. Fine. So this contains 50 marks. Understand, this 50 marks is divided how? Importance of your topic, relevance of your study, the objectives of your study, methodology, mode of inquiry. So all these topics you have covered, you have written in chapter 1. So basically on the topics of chapter 1 only 15 marks are there. So your examiners will, internal or external, will ask question regarding that what is your objective of your study, or what is the methodology, how you all have made this project, so which data you have used, primary or secondary, and how you are explained. You have to explain them that which methodology you have used, what you want to inquire, so why this topic is you have chosen, what is the importance of it, whether it is relevant for the present situation or not. So you have to explain them when they'll ask you the questions. So it contains how you answer. They'll give you marks out of 15. Next portion, ability to explain the analysis findings and concluding observations, limitations of your project, and the recommendations you want to make, if any. So this is the maximum chunk. So here your explanatory skills work, actually, the presentation skills. So here the emphasis of questions are asked from chapter 3, basically. What data you are analyzing and what are your findings and all, and they can also ask you what are your limitations or the shortcomings. So in limitation sections you have to answer like that this project contains this topic, contains this project contain on this topic contains this things which I have made. But obviously this topic is a wide or a broader topic, so due to time limitation I have not covered these few topics. So you can mention your topics that which are not covered, and this can be a research work for your future students, right? So which you have not covered, they can cover in their later study. So this is your all upon your explanatory skills required. You give your concluding remarks, you give your observations, your findings, and this how you explain it contains 25 marks. They'll give you marks out of 25, and I have observed from my experience that people get good marks if they explain very well. Overall impression, your communication skills contain 10 marks. So obviously have your communication skills as both ways, whatever verbal, non-verbal. So have you dress up should be of formal nature. So if boys are there, you have to, if possible, wear formals and also wear a tie. Now you would be asking me that it's not a corporate interview that I should wear a tie, but I would say that tie makes a man really look nice. Okay, so for formal, please wear formals, shirt, trousers, and obviously neatly dressed, neatly present yourself, right? And for girls also, I would say that avoid wearing the things which are not required in formal attire. So it should be formal, made Indian formal or a Western formal. Girls have two options. You can choose any one of the other. But please, girls, be little decent with your hair as well, and your I would say the earrings and other things you wear. Now moving to the next. We are first discussing the components of project report. Basically, a project report consists of 4 chapters we have already done. But here are the how the project work goes actually. That is written. First one is your cover page. Next, obviously, here it is written number 2 acknowledgement, but I would say that the next is supervisor certificate and students declaration, and after students declaration you will have your acknowledgement. Then you have your table of contents, or people widely know this by the term of index or contents. That is table of contents here. Next your chapter starts after table of contents, so you will start with your introduction, chapter 1. So now we are discussing in detail what will be there in your chapter 1. So your chapter 1 basically consists of the background or rationale behind selecting this topic, need of this topic, justification, literature review, objectives, methodology, limitations, and chapter planning. So these are all the sub points or subheadings below introduction. Next is your conceptual framework. Now we'll discuss about national and international scenario. Basically, in conceptual framework you will describe, suppose the topic is on the credit rating, then obviously you will describe about the national scenario, that how many credit rating agencies are there in India. You can name the few, and among the credit rating agency, which credit rating agency you are making your analysis, that whether you are using CRISIL's data or whether you are using Fitch data, or which agency, or whether you are doing a comparison between Fitch versus CRISIL, CARE, ICRA. So you will mention about them, and that what basically you will be doing, and of course in brief the national scenario. In national scenario, what is the credit rating agency doing, work of credit rating agency in your country, basically in India. Next, in international scenario, basically you will talk about the credit rating scenario outside India. So you can compare the companies, Indian companies versus foreign companies, credit rating agencies basically I'm talking about. Or you can also also do that what are the credit rating standards outside, like in US or Japan or Australia. So you can do it like that, it's your choice, but it should be international scenario, it should depict that. Now moving to that, and of course with national international scenario, this is the two subheads which you will be having it in your conceptual framework chapter 2. Otherwise also you can also explain some few basic concepts or few theories or few definitions can also be explained. Like if a person is doing CSR project, then obviously you can mention about the law, section number, companies act provisions, basic provisions which governs, which are on which the companies are governed in India. So you can write about the legal laws, legislation. So this is just I'm giving you the example of one topic. You can do it accordingly whichever topic you use. Okay, if you are using a e-commerce kind of a topic, then obviously the company profile. Suppose you are doing Amazon versus Flipkart or any other e-commerce company, then in conceptual framework only, after national international scenario, you can use the company profile as a head, and inside that you can always describe the companies in credit rating. Similarly, you had done it for credit rating project. In credit rating project, you were describing the credit rating agencies, right? So ICRA's function, the CRISIL's objectives. So you can do like that, right? Briefly explaining the company's profile can also be included in chapter number 2. Now we are moving into the most important chapter, that is chapter 3, presentation of data, analysis and finding. Here the one part will be the data analysis and the second head will be the findings. So data analysis, basically you choose anything. Primary data can be used like a questionnaire or any other survey or any other primary method, primary data method can be used, or you can use the secondary one as well, taken from the reports and journals and newspapers or any other secondary sources. Now after doing whether it is a questionnaire or whether it is a secondary data, you do your data analysis, complete it, and then come to the findings section. In the findings section, obviously you will be giving entire findings in a point wise format, so it will be a point format. Fine. Next we are moving into conclusion and recommendations. These contain two topics. One is conclusion, another is the recommendations. So in conclusion will be in a paraphrase, in a paragraph format, and the recommendations would be in a point format. Maximum you can give 5 to 6 recommendations, right? You can give recommendations to your respective companies like Amazon or Flipkart, or you can give a recommendation to government or public at large, whatever regarding to your with respect to your topic. Next we move to your 4 chapters are done. So obviously now we are moving into the reference section. So next topic is the references. Please avoid the word bibliography, because the term bibliography is it's not a wider term, but reference compared to bibliography is a wider term. How it is a wider term, I have a separate section where I'll discuss about the reference particularly later. Now moving to the after reference, we have annexures. In annexures you can add a questionnaire, you can also add the relevant reports, you can also add the balance sheets and profit and loss statements of companies who are doing the projects with the data of like ratio analysis or the financial statement analysis type of project or CSR type of project. So you can put your annexures over here. Now we are moving into step by step how to do the project. Fine. First step is basically regarding the selection of your topic. So you have to select your topic first. You have to first see that which topic suits you, whether this topic is relevant for today's world or not, how much time you have to make the entire project. Depend upon that you will be time we require. Basically you require time for your data analysis, right? First you need to collect the data and all. So you will understand that how many weeks time you have, how many months time you have, and then you can start feasibility of data collection in the given time. You will judge Now the challenges involved in data collection, your time, cost involved, how you will be doing the methodology of collecting the data. Maybe you will collect through Google Sheets or Google Forms, or you will do it offline, online, whatever be the mode. So and the area of population, from which area you will be selecting your data, who will be your interviewers, or who will be your persons to whom you will give your questionnaire. So this need to be planned first. Next is your finalization of the topic, and you will start your project proposal, right? And obviously project proposal, you can consult your supervisor for that, and your supervisor, if approves the topic or your project proposal, I take it this way, that project proposal is basically a draft of your project. So you send your supervisor a table of contents, how you want to present your topic, which is the manner, and he or she will be understanding it from there. Collection, after getting your approval from your supervisor, you can start collecting the information relating to your topic, and you can start analyzing them. You can do the analysis methods. For analysis method, you can use charts, tables, graphs, other things. Nowadays we also have the infographics, very much in fashion. So you can use infographics, you can use graphs, you can use tables, you can use many things, ratios, whatever be the good mode of analysis, you can do it. Tools and techniques are many, so choose it accordingly. Now moving to step 4. Step 4 is basically these 4 chapters. You will divide your entire report in this. We have already discussed about this, what they contain and how you have to present it. So I have already discussed about the step 4. So this way you complete your project. Now this is the format of cover page. Basically your cover page looks like this. So please be very particular about the format, because for format also you get the marks, right? So your project reports format starts with project report. So avoid these two words, that is cover page by title page. This it starts from project report. Whatever they have written, you have to write like this. But please understand that your field is accounting and finance, then just mention accounting and finance. You don't need to mention about marketing. So marketing word will be deleted. Fine. Now your title of the project would be there here. Now submitted by, your name of the candidate would be the registration number, CU roll number, name of the college, and college UID. So this need to be mentioned in this way only. You can't jumble up with the format. Now moving to a supervisor, supervised by name of the supervisor and the name of the college. Please try to avoid writing Mr., Miss, Doctor. These kind of prefixes are not required, girls and boys. You can eliminate it. Just simply write their names, prof, professor. You don't need this, because you really don't know that whether he or she is Miss, whether whether she is Mrs., whether she is Mr. Of course, you know he is a Mr. But I would say that please avoid this. We don't require these prefixes. Please, just simple name will go away, right? And name of the college need to be mentioned, month and year of submission. Month and year for this year, basically every year it happens in the month of April or March, but this year due to COVID-19 pandemic, your month and year would be June 2020, because in that June 2020 only your colleges are getting reopening, and your projects reports will be signed by your supervisors. Okay. Now moving to the format of supervisor's certificate. Now supervisor's certificate looks like this. So here you can write Mr., Miss, whatever. Girls will write MS, boys will write Mr. You will have to write your name, and here please understand there are so many fields are there. You have to mention accordingly. If you are belonging to account and finance, then please write BCOM honors in accounting and finance. Remove these fields, that is marketing, taxation, e-business. You don't need to write. Name of the college needs to be mentioned, and please don't do the mistake of his or her. If you are a boy, you will write his over here. If you are a girl, please write her. Why am I indicating this? Because these are silly mistakes people do. And obviously it's not feasible for a supervisor that every time these small mistakes also he or she will be correcting in your project. Obviously you are grown up children. Please listen, please read it once, because supervisors will be signing over here. So if any mistakes happens on this page, he will not be able to sign your project. And obviously you will face delay. His or her project, so please be his or her, please be very much be very clear with your gender, okay? And here also same thing, please be clear with your gender and write your title of the project. Title of the project should be same as it was mentioned, same title, the same title as mentioned in your cover page. So whatever you mention, whichever your title is there in your cover page, this title will continue forever, whichever page you mention your title in your project report. Fine. So this way you have to do it. Now coming to the signature, name, designation, name of the college. You don't need to write anything. Don't fill anything. Your supervisor will do what over here? They will sign your supervisor certificate and they will put the stamp. Right? So in the stamp, their name is there, the designation is there, the college's name is there, everything is there, boys and girls. So you don't need to mention anything. Here, this is the common mistake people do. Right? And just you place, and you can mention the place is Kolkata for us, and the date will be date of your signing, so signing or when the supervisor will sign, so you don't need to mention anything. So here just write the place name, that is Kolkata. Fine. And other things like name, supervisors, name of the supervisor, designation, college's name, you don't need to do anything. So leave it blank like this only. This is the format. Please follow this completely, and this is the way you have to do it. Now coming to students declaration. So after supervisor certificate, we are going in chain. People understand, first is your title or cover page. Let's revise. Next is supervisor certificate. Next is students declaration. Third one. Okay, so this way you will write your declaration, your project work should, and your title should be here in block letters, so you have to mention it in block letters. And here also same thing, if you are in accounting finance field, then remove other fields, right? And do it like this only. Now here what you have to do, you can mention the place, that is Kolkata. You can mention your name, address and registration number. Signature actually you will sign in front of your supervisor after he or she signs. So signature you don't have to do it now. Okay. Now this is a format of acknowledgement. This is just a format. You can also improvise on this format, but stick to this format. Don't do much. It's not required. Whatever is given over here, that is fine. Or if you want to improvise on it, you can improvise on it. I have no issues, but you have to mention your name of the college need to be mentioned, your topic need to be mentioned. At below you will mention your name, right? So this way you can use this as a format, or you can also choose any other things, any other format, but it should be not very much big. Fine. Briefly state your acknowledgement. Now moving to a table of contents. After acknowledgement, the table of contents. Basically, students' table of contents looks like this. I have lot of issues with the table of contents. If you cannot maintain your table of contents properly, your entire project is goofed up. Please understand that. And hundreds of times your supervisors will guide you that you have to make like this, make like this. This basically they are just telling you about your contents. Your table of contents is not proper. So please follow this format. This is the format which I have made. So here what we'll be doing, I am explaining you again. So please try to be more concentrate and listen to it, please. Because if you will not be able to frame your table of contents, your entire project you will not be able to make it properly, right? The draft should be good, the skeleton of your project should be good, the plan should be good, then only the project will be a great success, right? So please understand that this is your plan of your chapters, plan of your topics. So if you are not able to plan your topics correctly, you are not able to place your topics at a correct place, then how you will be able to manage your data, right? And other analysis. Now first chapter, you will be following this only. 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4 chapters. Nothing else. Only 4. And then 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 3.1. Like this only you will have to format. Format is this. So don't try to innovate it with your other things. Okay? It is written table of contents. You should have a table, not in just written format. It's not a paragraph. It is written table, so use a table. These are the heads, chapter number, topics, page number, more than enough. Table of contents looks like this only. First chapter is introduction. These are the topics. Background of the study, literature review, objectives of your study, research methodology, limitation of the study, chapter planning. Now, what you will be writing in the background of the study, you can write your scope of your study or background of the study. Explain the topic, whichever topic you are doing. In literature review, please understand, it's really important. In literature review, you can quote few authors, few researchers, or you can go through the research work, their papers, their journals, in which you can get that Mr. X in the study, in his study, name of the study you can mention. Then he has done a research on this topic earlier, and this was his observation, this was his findings. So you can fully quote the person, quote unquote, use the quote unquote, or else avoid. If you don't want to quote that person, you can just do a paraphrasing of it. What is paraphrasing? Basically, you are writing the findings of that author in your own words. So that would be good option, more good option than just quoting that person without knowing that what he or she is telling. So you have to read the person's research paper or research journal where his paper is being published. Read his study, what he had done the study, on which topic he has done the study. You have to mention the name of the topic, name of his study, and where it is published. You have to mention everything, and then you will be writing what was his objective and what were his findings. So how many authors to quote? You can quote 2 to 4 authors. Okay? Minimum 2 to 3 or maximum 4 to 5. Not more than that. Now moving into the objectives of the study. Objectives of the study is basically first and most very important thing. If you cannot find your objectives or unable to frame your objectives of your project, you will not be able to make your project. So objective should be in a point format, and objective should be maximum 2 to 4. Please don't do the objectives so big that it is 6 objectives, 10 objectives. It's not required, because a person cannot meet more than 2 objectives in a study. Okay? So it's 2 to 4, maximum 4, not more than that. Research methodology, here you will briefly mention about what you are using, what are the tools of research. First you will mention about the kinds of data, whether primary or secondary you are using, or next you will use the mode, that which mode you are using it, online or questionnaire, offline. Then you will also mention about the tools and techniques of data analysis. So you are using graphs, charts, interview, whatever it's there. Secondary data, how you are using it. Then if it can be a mixture of secondary and primary both, so you can mention about it. And next you will mention about the time of study. So if it is a questionnaire, how much time did you took to complete your entire survey. So a number of population, so number of people, like 100 people is maximum allowed, or you can do maximum 100 people, minimum 50 people, right? Next, you will mention about the period of study. We have already discussed. So period of study, you can do it for both primary and secondary data separately. For primary data, suppose the questionnaire took you around 2 months or 5 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you can mention about it. And next you will move that in the secondary data, whatever you have taken it from websites, journals and other secondary sources. So you have collected from 2015 to 2019. The data is of 2019 December. Till December 2019 you have taken. So both the period of study need to be mentioned, boys and girls. Now after that, research techniques, tools I have already mentioned. Whichever tool you want to use, data analysis tools are many. Charts, graphs, ratio analysis, other things, other kinds of analysis also happens. So you will mention about it in brief. Now we will move on to the limitations. Limitations of your study is basically not the limitation of your project. So you will not write the limitations of credit rating. Okay, you will be writing on the limitations of your study. Suppose due to time constraint, the topic of private equity is a huge topic. So you will mention that I have researched on these 2 areas of private equity, and these 5 areas I have not researched due to limitations of time. You can mention that. You can also mention what is there in your study and what is not there. So your future researchers, future generation can take your report as a take your report as their guide for the guidance, and they can do further research on your topic. Okay, so your limitations will mention this. Now the chapter planning, basically chapter planning is how you have planned your chapters. So you will write in chapter planning that there are 4 chapters in my project report. My project report consists of 4 chapters. The first chapter is introduction, second is conceptual framework, third is presentation of data analysis and findings, fourth chapter is conclusion and recommendations. So under it, then you will write in small head that point 1 introduction, these things are mentioned. So you have to just copy your table of contents. So you will write introduction consists of background of my study, literature review, objectives, methodology, limitations. Chapter 2 consists of national and international scenario. Chapter 3 consists of data analysis and findings. You can little bit mention about that my data was collected by a questionnaire, whatever. So over here, and chapter 4 consists of 2 conclusion and recommendation. I have given this recommendation, one or odd recommendation you can mention, but you have to copy this content table of contents, right? So this is your chapter planning. Next we are moving into the conceptual framework. In conceptual framework, as I have already explained, that national scenario consists of the explaining your topic, whatever be it CSR, be it credit rating, e-commerce. Explain the scenario in your country, that is India, and then you will explain the entire industry or scenario of international. So use the countries, whichever country data you get, America or US, UK, Australia, Japan, right? Whichever. Next, we are moving into the data analysis and findings, the most important chapter. In data analysis, if you have taken a questionnaire, then you have to mention the questions, but don't mention the questions as such. Suppose you have made a questionnaire consisting of 10 questions, then you will be mentioning that question number, first point 1, this question, you will heading will be data analysis, and there you will write inside that the data analysis was a questionnaire or containing 10 questions, was being circulated among 100 people of locality so and so, locality so and so in Kolkata. From this period to this period the data is being collected, and now we below mentioned is the analysis of the same. Then you will start with point 1, that is a question 1. So you will not simply copy paste your question. People, you just copy paste your question, and that is not fair. You don't need to copy paste the entire question which was asked in the questionnaire. You are not reproducing your questionnaire over here, okay? You are analyzing it. So you will just mention from the questions. The first question was suppose about whether you know about the e-commerce industry. Then you can write here as a heading that the e-commerce industry, the knowledge among the people. You can just write that heading, and then you or the popularity of Amazon versus Flipkart. So that is a question you were doing the survey that whether you know Amazon or Flipkart, then people will answer yes, no, whatever. So you will be doing this, that popularity of this company versus this company or whatever. So you will write the heading. From the question only the heading can be derived, right? You will write the heading, and then below that you will do some graphical analysis, whatever you want to do, bar graph, pie graph, chart, whatever, and then below that chart you will do interpretation of it. So write the heading interpretation subhead, and in that interpretation you will say 50% of the crowd is more familiar with Amazon, more comfortable with Amazon's customer service, and the second one is 49% people are more they are more preferring Flipkart over Amazon in this matter. So you will do like this. So for each question you will just frame a heading from a question, mention it, and then make a graph, and then you will write below the graph the analysis of it. So analysis can be in the form of, you can make an interpretation, explanation, you can write that explanation, interpretation, colon, and then start your analysis. Okay, an analysis should be in brief, it should contain 2-3 lines, not more than that, or maximum 5-6 lines. Fine. Now after completing your entire 10 questions, then move to the second part, that is 3.2, findings. Understand people in findings what we will be doing, that in findings in point format, whatever we have done the interpretation in 3.1, each question you will do it in, now in findings you will write in brief that 50% people like Amazon, and 49% like, or 51% like Amazon, 49% like Flipkart. In this way, in customer service, in delivery service, whatever. So you will write in short, in brief, in point format, right? In findings. Next, we are moving into conclusion and recommendations. In conclusion, it will be in para format. Paragraph you have to write, 1 or 2 paragraph is maximum you have to write it, so don't make it very big. And recommendations basically would contain 5 to 6 points which you want to, you can do make a recommendation to Flipkart, you can make a recommendation to Amazon, you can make a recommendation to the government, to public, to society at large, whatever you think your topic is, you can do the recommendations done, right? After recommendations, the references will come, and then references, the annexure and the questionnaire will come. Here in annexure you will completely give your questionnaire with questions, fine. So you will write the questions, and this is your questionnaire. Full questionnaire will be mentioned in your annexure. And people, if you don't have the topic where you can do the questionnaire, then please avoid questionnaire. You don't require the questionnaire. You can also do a project with the secondary data, like the topic like private equity, topic like CSR. They don't require the questionnaire. Topic like FSA, right? Financial statement analysis of Tisco, or FSA of Hindustan Liver. You don't require that. So please don't do it. Next, references. In references, please try to make these heads. These heads are just to make you explain that you can have all, or you can not. You can have 1 or 2, whatever is your choice. Accordingly, you will do it. Websites. You have to make these subheads. Like in websites, research papers, government and other reports, newspapers, journals, books, whatever things you have referred, you make first the heads, and under this head, under the head of website, you will mention the name of the website. Suppose first website is amazon.com, so amazon.com you will mention, and then you will give a colon and you will give the link of that website. So simultaneously, adjacent to the name, you will mention the link of the website, of the research paper, of the reports, newspapers, whatever. Indian Express, then give the link of the Indian Express. Obviously, you will be mentioning about the newspapers, so you can mention the link of this. Suppose you are mentioning, you have referred 10th of January 2020 newspaper, so you can give a link of that, okay? Journals also same thing, books also same thing. Name of the book, author's name, publisher's name, and bus. There is no link in the books. Fine. So you do like this. Thank you all. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please share this video among your friends, because I know that you are not able to meet your supervisors personally and get the personal guidance of them, because the colleges are not open now. So please try to share this video as much as possible among your friends in whichever platform you're connected, right? Facebook, WhatsApp, and please try to circulate among your friends and take the benefit of it, right? And if you have any more queries with regard to your project report, then you can post your queries in your comments section, so I'll personally answer them. And my students, your queries will be handled by me in Google Classroom, so try to join in the Google Classroom. The link is already shared, the code is already given to you. So if also some people are still left please try to go and subscribe that, and please try to be there in the Google Classroom, and please be active in the Google Classroom, because in Google Classroom will be helpful for us. We will be reviewing our projects also there in the Google Classroom only, with the help of Google Classroom. So try to be active over there at least once in the whole day. You can check the update that what is happening in your classroom. Fine. So enroll yourself over there in the classroom, and obviously this will be beneficial to everyone, all my students, right? And those who are not my students, you can get you if you want any further guidance, you can put a question or in the comment section. I'll be answering it, no problem, right? And please do subscribe the channel for the exciting videos which are coming to in this channel, and like and share. So obviously, this will motivate us to make more videos which are helpful to you. So study well, do well, and stay tuned to this channel. Bye.